What's going on, guys? It's Dustin with Custom Offsets TV on the YouTube, and we are here in beautiful Sarasota, Florida. It's a little bit overcast today, which is good because it's normally hot down here otherwise. And I'm here with my buddy Joe. What's up?
I'm Joe. I'm not from Custom Offset, but I am an ambassador though, I guess, right?
That's true, that's true.
So I guess I am with you.
Exactly. So we're in the neighborhood here. Of course, I hit Joe up. We've been chatting for a hot minute on Instagram now.
Yeah, like probably a little over a year now. Probably.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. But Joe's got this beautiful cat eye behind us here. We're gonna do a quick little spotlight on it, do a little walk around it, and then rumor has it there's some shenanigans to come as well. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But that's enough out of me. Let's get into the actual build. All right, Joe, so let's do a proper Custom Offset spotlight walk around on this thing. Take us through the build. Let's get started first. Tell me your make model of this thing.
It's a 2007 classic body style LBZ Duramax.
Right on.
I wanted the LBZ, I wanted the 6-speed.
Only the finest gentlemen drive LBZ Duramax.
Yeah, I know, right? Coming from a fellow LBZ guy.
Exactly. So take us through wheel and tire specs here. Obviously, you've got these nice candy red XDs on there.
Yeah, so I had the red wheels originally. I had XF off-roads, and I got ran off the road and curbed up a wheel real bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
And I got in contact with Custom Offset, and they were on national back order. So I went with a set of KMC beadlocks, and they were 20 by 12s. With the Nitto 420s, and love those wheels, but they were just super heavy. They rubbed like crazy. I knew I wanted to lower the truck more for the racetrack. So I sold those and I bought these. These are 20 by 9, no offset. It fixed all my racetrack problems, no more torque steer, nothing like that. I went with the new Toyo Prox ST3s. I really like them.
What size is that? A 305?
305 50.
50? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I had the 305 35 or 305 35s. I think they were on my 14 wides. So very familiar with that tire. Runs great, and the wet traction's super good.
Yeah. Wet traction, dry track. Like the track, I can leave way harder than when I had the 420s.
Really?
Yeah. I run 20 pounds of air in the rear and 25 in the front at the racetrack. And then when I daily drive it, I just run like 35.
Sure.
You never know when you're gonna have to throw it in for it and dust a Mustang or something.
Let her eat. Exactly. Let's talk a bit about suspension on this thing. What do you got going on in terms of obviously you're lowered, right?
Yeah. It's not much lower than what factory is in the front. The front is pretty much all factory stuff. Just the torsion keys all the way, or the torsion bolts all the way backed out.
Okay.
Yeah. I run limiting straps on the front, keep the front end and the weight down when I leave on the starting line. In the back, I have Caltrax. There's probably 6 to 8 months worth of testing and getting the Caltrax dialed in the way I want them to get the truck to leave straight. And I mean, the truck has second gear launch. I leave it 3,200 RPMs. Not on the spray yet until about 60 foot. But I don't have to touch the steering wheel. The truck goes dead straight.
No kidding.
Yeah. So there was a lot of time in getting that dialed in.
Yeah.
On the street, it's not as consistent. You know, especially there's crowns on the road, stuff like that.
But it's not nice and flat like the racetrack
but the racetrack, like, I don't even have to hold the steering wheel.
Damn. Little lift pump action sticking out down there.
Yeah, it's got a fast 165 on it. Okay. As far as the rear suspension, going back to that, there's only 2 leaf springs left in the rear.
Okay, so you just pulled the stacks out then? Huh?
I pulled, I started with the overload. I wanted to keep going down. It's got 3-inch drop shackles, and then after I pulled all the leaves out but those 2, the truck was bottoming out really bad. So I put the shackles back down to where it's about a 1-inch drop shackle. But it sits a lot lower because there's no leaf springs in the rear.
Sure, yep.
You know, so it's real squishy, it rides real nice. Name the truck Greta.
Okay.
Everybody knows who Greta is, you know, so maybe one day she'll see it and put me in her speech. I don't know.
That's fantastic. I love this build. I've loved this build for a long time, but seeing it in person is super cool, man. There's not a lot of guys that are doing like street-inspired trucks like this.
Yeah.
You know, there's not a lot of guys that are doing, I would say, by all definitions, a race truck, right? I mean.
Yeah, I mean, like people call it a race truck. I don't know if I call it a race truck. It's like more like a street truck to me.
Sure.
You know, I go to the track and then I drive it home and drive it on the weekends, drive it down around on the beaches, stuff like that. People love it, you know. And the white and red pop.
Yep. This thing's gotta be super cool on the beach, man. Like I can't even.
Oh, it turns so many heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially to start spooling in those low gears, and it's got all KC KC turbo internals in it.
Okay.
So the screen's real loud, and people can't get their phones out fast enough. They really can't.
Speaking of which, that's probably the best part. I don't know that we've talked about that yet. Let's take us under the hood, show us what you got going on, because from what I understand and what we've talked about, there's a fair bit of work done under there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a budget build kind of thing. I'm not like trying to go bankrupt building this.
Right.
But I also want it to get out of its own way. It's got a Profab hood stack on it.
Okay. Oh, hello.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Whirly Fab intake. I welded my one-piece Y bridge.
Okay.
I can't see spending $800 on something that I could weld and it not flow and make any more power.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Unless I'm making over 1,000, which I'm not.
Yeah.
So it's got that. It's got KC turbo, compressor, wheel, turbine wheel, 360 bearing.
How big's the turbo?
It's the factory size,
Is it?
63.5. Yeah.
Okay.
Factory, the truck's tuned by Starlight. Factory, it was making right around 32 pounds of boost. With the KC turbo and everything being retuned from them, it's right around 39 to 41, depending on the ambient temp. And then when I sprayed the nitrous, it has 150 shot of nitrous on it.
That's incredible.
When I spray the nitrous, it'll spike at like 44 and holds like 42.
Oh, Jesus.
So, and with it being a 63, it's a small turbo. So, I mean, it's at that much boost at 2,000
Yeah,
RPM.
it spool's relatively low in the RPM band, yeah. This is super cool for me, again, just because I have an LVZ, right? So I know what dailying that truck is relatively stock. So it's funny just to hear, with the shot of nitrous, of course, and smaller turbo, spools quicker and stuff. So super cool.
It's got a Turbo Smart blow-off valve on it. Those are pretty uncommon. When I bought that, it took probably about 3 months for me to build up the courage to actually do it.
Really?
My brother-in-law's he designs car audio and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I had him help me, and he had it wired in like 20 minutes. And, I felt stupid, but but they're not very common. So there was nothing online on how to do it or anything like that. So I was just overthinking it, I guess. It's got 60 over injectors from S&S Diesel.
Okay.
It's got an Extra G 12 millimeter CP3 in it. I wanted to kind of keep it like more of a factory look. That's why I didn't do dual fuelers. I talked to Starlight, the tuner, a lot, and some other people that ran dual fuelers, and now they run single pumps, and they just said it's easier to tune, it's more reliable, it's less belts, less stuff to go wrong.
Yep, exactly.
And for me, I drive this thing on the road to the racetrack and home. So if it breaks at the track, I need the least amount of stuff that can go wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, it's just a basic build, It's not
What's it put down?
anything crazy. I've never dynoed it. That's probably the most common question I get is what's it make on a dyno? And there's so many people that are cheating dyno numbers nowadays, and trucks that are making 750, but they're running, 820 at the track, and it's like, well, now if I say, well, my truck makes 500 horsepower, now it doesn't look as good as the 700 horsepower truck, So my dyno is more the racetrack. Okay. Every time I pick up a tenth of a second or whatever, I'm making more horsepower.
Yeah, exactly.
If I had to guess, I've raced several diesel trucks that are right in like that 725 to 740 area, and I raced one on Wednesday at the local track. Yep. And I got them by about a truck and a half with the nitrous. So I'm assuming with the nitrous, it's probably right around 800 horsepower.
Jeez.
Is my guess. And on fuel, it's probably like 680, 700, I don't have a bottle warmer on the nitrous, so it's got a 150 shot on it, but it's not up temperature and it's not up at the PSI, so it's probably pushing right around another extra 100, 110 horsepower.
That's incredible.
But it's a big difference. It picks up 0.3 of a second with the nitrous.
Holy Christ, that's incredible.
So, and then before I did the internals on the turbo, compared to with them, it picked up another 0.3 of a second.
Really?
Yeah, so a lot of people are gonna, kind of badmouth my turbo setup because they're like, well, it's still stock size, but it spools and makes as much boost pressure as some of the 66 and 68 millimeter turbos.
Well, and sometimes I don't think that big turbo is always better. Realistically,
it's really not. And I was talking to a buddy of mine last night, and he's got a pretty built LBZ, and it makes just over 700 horsepower on the dyno. Yep. And we went for a ride in his truck last weekend actually, and it's fast, you know, it plants you in the seat, and then he's like, come on, take me for a ride, take me for a ride. So I took him for a ride, and it kind of scared him a little bit. And he's like, dude, he's like, I'm telling you, I figured with that stock turbo, you know, I kind of didn't believe it.
Yeah?
He's like, I had to ride in a truck, and that's wicked. It's like, I have respect for it now.
Hell yeah. Well,
So-
speaking of that, I think it's time. If you're down, let's go see what kind of shenanigans we can
Yeah,
find.
you got to be in the truck, though.
I'm completely okay with that.
All right.
Hell yeah, brother. Well, let's do it, man.
All right,
Let's get
yeah,
into it.
let's do it.
There you have it, guys. There is Joe's LBZ Duramax. Joe, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome, Dustin.
coming
It
out,
was a
man.
real pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We had some fun. Thanks for taking us around the build and stuff, and for coming out.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure. I'm glad we were able to do it. It's been like over a year, you know. I was contemplating, I'm like, maybe I could like drive the truck up to Wisconsin or trailer it or something just to do it, you know.
Yeah,
But-
it worked out super cool.
But yeah, y'all came 40 minutes from me, so
Hell yeah.
super cool. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
A couple people I want to thank as sponsors. First one would obviously be Custom Offset. I've gotten several wheels and tires from them. Some other stuff, some steering, that kind of stuff. Another one is Diesel Life, Diesel Apparel. They sent me a bunch of free stuff, and use my discount code DirtyMaxJoe10 for a discount on the website.
Sweet.
Also, Custom Offset, tell them Dirty Max Joe sent you. I want to thank Starlight Diesel. They great customer service with all tunes. Even when I go to the racetrack, I can send them it and like send them data, and they send me another tune. Friends, family. I've had a lot of friends involved with helping turn wrenches on this thing. I mean, the truck's never broken down hard or left me stranded, but you know, dropping a transmission or you know, yanking the rear axle. The rear axle's been out of this thing like 6 times.
Just GM things, you know?
Yeah, tearing it down, you know, putting head studs and head gaskets, you know. Family, they've all been supportive. My dad's never missed a single race that I went to. He's gone to the track every single time.
Wild.
So, yeah, he's the most consistent, you know.
That's wild, yeah.
But yeah, so just thank you everybody that's been involved. It's been a long 4 years with the truck, and I'm really happy with where it's going. I can't wait to see where it's gonna go in the next 4 or 5 years. So,
Hell yeah. Right on,
Yeah.
man. There you have it, guys. There is the video. Like we said, thank you so much for watching, of course. And if you want to see more of this content, let us know in the comment section below. With that, see you next time. Peace.